Maids like me, I'm neat. I like maids, they're neat. Something no household should be without. Everybody ought to have them, everybody ought to have them. Everybody ought to have a working girl. Everybody ought to have a lurking girl to putter around the house. Everybody ought to have them, everybody ought to have them. Everybody ought to have a medio, consistently congenial, and quieter than a mouse. Oh, oh, wouldn't she be delicious, tidying up the dishes, neat as a pin? Oh, oh, wouldn't she be delightful, sweeping out, sleeping in? Everybody ought to have a maid, someone who you hire when you're short of help, to offer you the sort of help you never get from a spouse. Sputtering up the stairway, shuttering up the windows, cluttering up the bedroom, buttering up the master, puttering all around the house. Oh, oh, wouldn't she be delicious, tidying up the dishes, neat as a pin? Oh, oh, wouldn't she be delightful, sweeping out, sleeping in? Everybody ought to have a maid. Everybody ought to have someone who, when fetching you your slipper, will be winsome as a whippoorwill and graceful as a grouse. Skittering down the hallway, tittering in the pantry, littering up the bedroom, puttering up the master, puttering all around the house. Everybody ought to have a maid. Everybody ought to have a serving girl, a loyal and unswerving girl who's quieter than a mouse. Oh, oh, think of her at the dustbin, especially when she's just been traipsing about. Oh, oh, wouldn't she be delightful, living in, giving out? Everybody ought to have a maid. Daintily collecting bits of paper and strings, appealing in her apron strings, beguiling in her blouse. Pattering through the attic, chattering in the cellar, clattering in the kitchen, flattering in the bedroom, puttering all around the house. The house. The house. The house. A maid, a maid, a maid, a maid. Everybody ought to have a maid. Someone who's efficient and reliable, obedient and pliable, and quieter than a mouse. Oh, oh, wouldn't she be so nimble, fiddling with the thimble, mending a gown? Oh, oh, wouldn't she be delightful, sweeping up, leaving